Welcome back everyone, I'm the Depressed Eeyore and this is Darkest Dungeon. Alright, did some audio checks and changes and all that good stuff, and yeah. Hopefully the narrator will be a little bit louder, everything else should be fine. Because I was messing around, I pretty much maximized the master volume and then just manually adjusted all of the individual volumes. It's not often I have to do something like that. Alright, let's go to Embark. So we need to take, you have to take 4 people unless you can't. So like if you don't have enough people, that's only a situation where you can't take 4. This just represents just a fancy little team name. It's usually based off what sort of formation you have. There's like a bajillion different combinations. Like I could probably switch these around and I'll probably change the name to something else. Usual suspects, Red Hook. Alright, let's go ahead and I think there's... I'm just seeing if there's anything else I really want to mess around with. No. Now the position that Rainbow's in, she won't be able to use her mace, but that's fine. She can still use all of her other stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and get some provisions. Also, there are 3 different lengths for missions. There are short, medium, and long. Medium and long missions will provide you with campfires that you can use in the middle of the mission. Shorts, unfortunately, do not. Also, you can see the rewards. For the most part, I think some of the locations favor certain rewards. Runes, you can generally get crest. Also, they'll usually provide some sort of accessory as a reward as well. Generally, the rarity of the accessory depends on the difficulty, which right now it's Apprentice, and the length. So, short and Apprentice, you can pretty much get the most common of accessories. Alright, let's get going. Alright.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
Alright, I added in the what do you call them, subtitles, so you'll be able to see what the narrator's saying. You'll want to take different supplies depending on what region you are going to, how long the quest is, and your own preference, but always bring some food and torches. For your first short quest, try bringing at least 8 food and 4 torches. I usually bring extra torches. 8 food I think is okay. 1 shovel, 1 key. Also, depending on what characters you bring, you can get free items. Plague Doctors always bring an anti-venom. So if you have multiple Plague Doctors, you can start with multiple anti-venoms. And I believe the Crusader starts with Holy Water. Now each of these actually do unique effects, but they can also be used for points of interest, which can be pretty useful as well. Is there anything else I want to bring? No. I think that's good for right now. Unfortunately, it's been a very long time since I've played this, and it's important to know what works with what point of interest. Because it gets you a lot more loot. Alright, right click on the hero panel, on a hero's image or portrait, anytime to look at the quirks and all that fun stuff. I actually did not look up anyone's stuff. Reynold here is a Warrior of Light, so as long as the torch is above 75%, he does extra damage. He's God-fearing, so he will only pray for stress relief, but he's also prone to stealing items. What this means is I want to drop this guy as soon as possible, because he will steal shit. And you won't be able to get it back. Known cheat is pretty much just means he can't gamble in town. He's resistant to stun, and he has +2 speed. All good stuff. And we already gone over these other 2. I'll talk a little bit more about the classes later. There's actually a section in town that'll actually go more in specifics about the individual classes. So for right now, we'll just work with what we got. As for the map, which I'm having trouble clicking and dragging for. Alright, so we need to explore 90% of the room, which is pretty much all of them except for that last room. So let's go ahead and get started. That is a torch.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
Alright, cool. We got ourselves a free torch. Alright, just gonna make that trigger and then use a torch to bring that back up. I'm gonna keep my light as high as possible. It'll increase our scouting and our chances of surprising the opponent. Alright. These are skeletons, nothing too special, 8 HP. Pretty much immune to bleed, but they're vulnerable to everything else. Now the question is how do I want to handle this? Let's do that, 2 damage, and blight, so he's going to take 4 damage per round. I'm going to stun the other one. Actually, I'll stun that one.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Something to note about this character, some of her moves will actually provide light. So Dazzling Light gives +6 torch, and Illumination provides +5 torch. Alright, let's use Grape Shot Blast. And miss. There we go. One will be dead at least. 5 damage, okay.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Indeed. Now, you can try to delay a battle, but delaying generally increases stress, which is a little unfortunate because I would like to heal some of that damage, but...
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Yep. Alright, got ourselves some money. Then we'll search this chest. This is an unlock strongbox. There's literally nothing you need to do on this. It'll always usually give you something. 2 shovels, okay. Well, you have a lot of spare shovels. Also, every time you enter a room, if you have a high enough scouting rating and roll high enough, you can see what's around you. But unfortunately, our scouting is not that great. Alright.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
This is what shovels are for. If you get to one of these things, these blockades, and you don't have a shovel, you have to do this by hand. If you do it by hand, everyone takes a little bit of damage. It eats up a lot of your time, which means you lose a lot of light, and it stresses everyone out. So, always bring shovels. Okay. So we got Bone Rabble, which had Bump in the Night, which doesn't do anything, it's just a regular attack. We have a Bone Soldier that has Protection and high HP, or higher HP. What Protection does is it's just damage reduction. So this thing actually has 15% damage reduction. And then this freaking girl is Cultist Acolyte. 13 HP, 13 dodge, speed 7. These things are very fast and very annoying because they tend to do a lot of stress damage, and they generally do moves that will drain light from your torch. So you don't want to deal with this. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stun her and miss. And fail in that thing. Alright, 8 damage. Unfortunately, she's going to... Oh, we surprised her. That's right. So we can actually do this. Just going to take you out.
Executed with impunity.
Now, if you crit, it will actually leave no body as well. Okay, she's stunned. So now we don't have to worry about her next round. Actually, I should have used the other move. Because she's actually going to go first next round. Oh no. Awesome. Well,
Confidence
perfect.
surges as the enemy crumbles.
Taking her out before she can do anything is the best thing we can ask for. We're going to go ahead and do some stunning. Oh, I can't. Doesn't work on front row. Alright, then I'll just do this. 0 damage. But it does blight. I can actually increase torch light, but I don't really need to.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Alright, cool. Move on up, and then torch.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
You said it. Nothing in here. And nothing of note either. We'll pick this way. Okay, this is a pack. Nothing. It always just has stuff in it.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Okay, we got cultist brawlers. These guys have claws that will do bleed. They can be very annoying to deal with. A disorienting blast you. You're stunned and brought to the front. Now something else that the Reign of the Gods does is it will force him to move up a slot. Alright, let's do what we can with that.
The light, the promise of safety.
Okay, she's dead. The bleed. Oh nope, never mind. She resisted the bleed. There we go.
Advantage. Give them no quarter.
Now things like bleed do carry over outside of combat, so that's something to be aware of. Critical hits.
And power.
Anytime you crit, it actually reduces stress.
The slow
Kills you.
death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Okay, can you please stop slashing her? Alright, heal yourself. Healing is kind of a emergency. Well, depends on how you build your character, but healing by itself generally is not something that will keep you alive.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Alright, so this chest here, it's an heirloom chest. If you have a key, it's definitely a lot more beneficial.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Alright, we'll go ahead and take this all. This is a disease charm. It gives you disease resistance, but you get -2 dodge, which isn't that great. But if I have any characters that have no dodge, like, I don't know, this character, Reimu doesn't have any dodge to begin with, so disease charm is just a raw benefit. And here's some scouting. So up ahead's a trap. Down there we could possibly see something fancy. So we'll go back the other way. Now you don't lose as much torchlight when you backtrack. You can also move backwards, but moving backwards is very stressful. Alright, it's just a pack. Holy water and deeds. A lot of accessory stuff. Alright, any location that has curios or, you know, heirlooms or anything like that, always have monsters in them. So, get ready for combat. Surprised? Okay. We have a Bone Arbalist. These guys are pretty painful because they generally like to crit, and they can attack the back rows. Alright, so just Nauseous Blast. Actually, we can just stun you. Boop. There you go, now you're shifted forward. Grape Shot Blast. Hit all of them.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Alright. God, these hit super hard. Alright, next I'm gonna plague you. Shoot you all. I'll kill the one in the front, which is a little annoying. I'm just gonna go ahead and buff myself then.
The way is lit. The path is clear.
Now he marked himself, which means he's more likely to be targeted. Also increased his protection.
A death by inches.
But it didn't matter, he didn't target him. You can crit with heals. It's possible. Stop targeting him! Take all.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Alright, I'm gonna go visit this thing. I'm gonna use a holy water. Alright, and that healed her for 12 and removed her stress. I couldn't remember what exactly it did. Alright, up ahead, so thanks to scouting, we get to see this trap. Scouted traps will be visible on the ground as you approach them. Select a hero, then click on the trap to attempt to disarm it. Some heroes are better at disarming than others. 90%, 50%, 60%, 60%. If you succeed in disarming a trap, it relieves stress. If you fail, the trap will go off and you'll take damage and be stressed. Alright. Onwards. Okay, another pack. Ooh, a bunch of food. Oh, by the way, food can be used, will be pure, eaten as you go through the area. It's also used for camping. Also, you can eat it raw, just by right-clicking it, and it'll heal 2 per food you eat, and you can only eat about 4 at a time before you can't eat anymore, and you have to wait a bit. Anyway, speaking of hunger, if you don't have food when this procs, you will suffer damage and a lot of stress. But if you do have enough, you'll actually get healed. Alright. We're done, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue adventuring. Alright, up ahead is a treasure room. We definitely want to take advantage of that. We're doing pretty well, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and keep exploring. We also have plenty of supplies, so shovel that. Use our last torch and hop right in. Lots of surprise. Okay. We're gonna do Plague Grenade, which hits both these guys. Now, the Bone Courtier tends to use their Goblet, which will do minor damage, but does tons of stress. So we want that taken care of. He's at 4, which means he's dead.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
They really do not like Dismas. Well, he's down to 9. He'll be dead next round, so we can ignore him if we want. The Bone Defenders have high protection, but dots will bypass that. This attack does extra to Unholy. Alright, good stuff.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
The gems are just, they take up inventory slots, but they are worth generally more money in most cases. Alright, let's go ahead and open this. We have a key. Alright, cool. We got some more heirlooms, which we definitely need, especially in the early game. Stun Charm, which I'm just going to give to Reimu, because she's the only one that can really equip it without suffering penalties. And there you go. Not bad for a short mission. Ah, there we go. So when you click these things, it reveals a bunch of stuff. It'll give you a random... It usually just gives you a random thing. Either a perk or a flaw. So Dismas is now obsessed with the acquisition of knowledge, so now there's chances where you run into certain things that involve bookshelves and stuff that he'll just automatically open because he can't resist himself. But some of these don't really make any sense, like Wheeled Adventurer. Why did you get that perk? Unfortunately, this problem's been around for a while. Leveling up does help with dealing with things like stress. Also, once you hit certain levels, your heroes will refuse to go on easier missions. So that's kind of like a sort of a downward spiral. As they level up, they want to do the harder stuff, even if they're not geared for it. And that's about it. So let's go ahead and return to town.
In truth, I cannot tell how much time has passed since I sent that letter.
Alright, severe negative quirks. Over time, some negative quirks will lock into place and become severe. Severe negative quirks cost much more to remove in the sanitarium. So yeah, there's ways to get rid of bad quirks, but yeah, so Marissa is now locked in for Tippler. That's fine. I don't really care if she's a Tippler. The only time things like Tippler is a bad thing is if you have something like Tippler and then you have another quirk that prevents you from going to the bar. Alright, so we got some new locations. We have the Abbey and the Tavern.
Fresh kegs, cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Heroes relieve stress by taking part in activities at the Tavern and Abbey. Each activity has different side effects. Experiment to find the best activity for each hero depending on their quirks. Committing a hero to an activity locks them in that activity until the next week. You'll have to take a different hero with you on your next quest. So yeah. Also, I guess it's really, I believe you play as the caretaker. So this is technically us, I guess you can say. And he will always be staying at various places. And if he takes a slot, that means you can't use that slot. You can upgrade the effects of these locations, like they increase the stress recovery, as well as add additional slots so more people can stay there. For right now, I don't really care. The only person that has any significant amount of stress is Marissa here. And it's not that bad.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
Alright, same idea. It's just instead of, gambling and drinking and, going to a brothel and stuff, instead it's more like various forms of religious stuff like prayer, meditation, and, flagellation. Now, something also to note is sometimes when you go to these places, you can get quirks because of them. So, for example, if you end up going to, like, a bar and drinking, that character might become a Tippler. Or it could be something like you pray to a higher power and then you get something happens and you end up no longer getting a quirk that prevents you from going to this place ever again. Also, sometimes your character might just wander off for a time, like they might meditate and see a vision, and then they decide to go on a journey, and they won't be accessible for a while. So, a bunch of little things that can happen. Anyway, let's go ahead and go to the coach. So we got some new characters. You have Cophobia and you're Faithless. Will not pray or flagellate for stress relief. Okay. I kind of don't really want you. Alright, over here we have Rord, the Enlightened. He'll only meditate. He's evasive and runes tactician. He has collect a bounty, but he doesn't have a way of marking, which is annoying. He does have some okay moves, so you know what? We're gonna go ahead and bring him along.
The thrill of the hunt. The promise of payment.
If I hadn't said already, he's a bounty hunter. And then over here we have a leper. Clumsy, Enlightened, Beast Hater, and Steady. Steady's generally pretty good because it reduces stress damage. Now, pretty much lepers are all about being in the melee, so they can also heal themselves and all that good stuff. The only bad part about them is they are really inaccurate. But when they hit hard. So, all good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and bring him along as well.
This man understands that adversity and existence are one and the same.
Indeed. Not sure why you have a medal on, but whatever. Does anyone not have dodge? You don't have dodge. Oh, how do you unequip? There you go. You can also sell trinkets, but I'm not going to do that just yet. But I will give you these trinkets, because you're not going to be dodging. So he's practically immune to stun, which is actually pretty good. Alright. Go ahead and switch. We'll be sending our new team out. Team Fodder. And yeah, I think we'll go ahead and let me check how long I've been going at this. Yep, been going long enough, so I'll go ahead and call this a video. I am The Depressed Hero, and this was Darkest Dungeon. See you guys later.